I got a feeling we all going to have the same answer for this one here. And I'm going to go start with you, Mike. Worst. We did best driver pairings last week. What is your worst for the season?
And again, I'm not sitting in front of my resources, but the two kids, the two rookies, the one whose dad financed and the other, is that the Haas team?
That's the Haas team.
Yeah, that's not them. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna amend some earlier statements I made in the show. Alpine will not be the worst; they'll be the second to worst.
Okay, there you go, making history again. But I agree. I mean, you can't. I mean, God love Mitch Schumacher and what he did in Formula 2 and Formula 3 and all that, and he has some great pedigree, and he's going to have a great F1 career. But he is teamed with. I'm trying to hold my tongue here, but not a great guy. But even though the team Haas itself is standing behind him, but I think that's going to be the worst driving pairing this season.
Well, Haas is standing behind him because Daddy gave him all the money to operate.
Mm-hmm.
So you give me that kind of money to operate, I'm going to stand behind you too.
God love Mother Russia. How about you, Chaz? What do you see?
Yeah, so I was trying to take a little bit of a different take on things, and because I mean that's the most obvious answer, just because it's the obvious answer, right? Like, because they're absolutely awful,
Mm-hmm.
and they will be really awful this season. I think what may be a little bit of a different take is just looking at it from an investment standpoint. So, like, for example, Fernando Alonso is going to get. He's actually going to get $20 million this year, and I actually think. I think that's well deserved. What I don't think is going to pan out as well is someone who's right behind him. So Verstappen's going to get 19. These are the top four right now. So we have Lewis is getting 55, so he's clearing way more than everyone else. Alonso's coming back for 20. So he's actually making more than Verstappen, who's making 19. At number 4 is Vettel. So Vettel's making $17 million. So in my opinion, Vettel in an Aston Martin, paying him $17 million along with another 1.7 to go into Lance Stroll. So now we're looking at almost $19 million for an Aston Martin that's going to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. It doesn't seem like a very good return on investment.
So you're looking at Aston Martin, the worst driving pairing right now?
I think so. Yeah, I think Aston Martin is going to wind up being one of those teams that when we're watching races this season, you're not going to hear about. You're just going to have to look up the stats and be like, oh, this is what was happening, because they talk about interesting stuff. They talk about what's going on at the front of the pack. They talk about who are the back markers, and then they talk about any in race kind of events going on or races within the race, so to speak, right? I don't think there's going to be very many of those with Vettel and with Lance Stroll this season. So I think ultimately it's just going to be a waste of $19 million. I mean, what are you getting out of it? The team's not going to get any better. It's not going to be great advertisement for the team. I mean, Vettel was largely overlooked last season, and he was in a Ferrari. So yeah. I think he's being overpaid.